Good morning or good afternoon, as the case may be. My name is Sosale Mohana. I'm a maths teacher who has taught maths for over 50 years in 3 continents and 3 countries, like India, in Asia, Kenya in Africa, and England in Europe. I've just retired a couple of years ago, and I thought I should use my experience to record and deliver a number of lessons based on the British curriculum for A-level maths, so the students who want to reinforce their learning can use it. I have a master's in maths, of course, way back in 1969. I completed my master's in maths, and then I did my teacher training in 1974. I've been working since 1969 till 2019, clear 50 years. So I hope these lessons are useful to you, and you're welcome to watch them. And then with each lesson, there will always be a document which covers whatever has been done in the lesson. So you could use that perhaps as your own notes, or maybe to go over what has been taught during the lesson. I hope you enjoy the lesson. Hello, welcome back. In the last couple of lessons, I talked to you in detail about the history of quadratic equations. So today we'll go a bit further. Now let's come back from storytelling to a bit of maths and do this again with the work you have done in GCSE. I'm just going over the nightmare for majority of GCSE students, completing squares. So today, we are still in topic is still basic algebra. And then in that, the lesson is on solving quadratic equations. The most common one which students somehow do it but find it difficult is method of completing squares. So I'll take the first method as a method of completing squares. That means you have got a quadratic. Suppose you have the quadratic ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. You rewrite this quadratic in the form px plus q whole squared plus r equal to 0, or x plus q whole squared plus r equal to 0. In other words, you convert the terms that are in x into a perfect square. To do that, let's recollect what you did in your GCSE. A plus b whole squared is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. A minus b whole squared is a squared minus, that's a minus 2ab plus b squared. In other words, if you have that, I can write like that. So let's look at this. First, I'll go over the theory, then I'll take an example. So I need to somehow bring in a plus b whole squared. I do not know what is a. If it was a squared, I didn't have a problem. It's just a. So therefore, what I do is, sometimes it could be negative a as well. So the safest will be get rid of the negative sign, or divide throughout by a. Of course, a is not equal to 0. So I'm going to divide by a. I get x squared plus b over a times x plus c over a equals 0. Take this to the other side and write, instead of writing c over a equal to 0, I will rewrite this as is equal to minus c over a. That means I straight away before division, I take the constant term to the other side. when you look at a plus b whole squared, I have a 2. When I look at a minus b whole squared, I also have a 2. That means if you want to use ax plus b whole squared or ax minus b whole squared or a plus b whole squared, a minus b whole squared, you need a 2. I don't have a 2, so I'll put x squared 2x b over 2. Because you can't just multiply by 2, as I always mention, maths is not your grandfather's property. Meaning, you can't do whatever you want and, it's alright. No, if you, the original question was b over a, if you make it b over, if you bring in a 2, get rid of the 2. Equal to minus c over a. See, I purposely left a gap here. So if I compare this, x squared is a squared. So I know a as x. 2 is there. X is a. And then in place of b, I have b over 2a. So I have 2 out of 3 terms to complete the square. But the third one is missing. What the third one? B squared. That's why you square this. Again, I repeat, you cannot do whatever you want in maths and assume it's alright. No. If you add a b over 2a on this side, it's like a balance in an equation. See, the balance is steady. If you put something more, that becomes heavy. You need to put something there so that they still stay level. That's why it's an equation. Since I've added b squared over b over 2a whole squared there, I must add b over 2a whole squared there. So the first step is divide through by a, take c to the other side. Second step is divide through by a. Third step is rewrite it, but this step you don't have to show. But what you have to show is find what is the half of the coefficient of x. That's why I got b over 2a. Square it, add it to both sides. In fact, you don't even, this is what I showed you the theory, but in the exam, the step you write would be, you don't write this step. You write it as x squared plus bx over a. Half of that is b squared b over 2a whole squared equal to minus c over a plus b over 2a whole squared. That's all you write. You don't have to show this step. I showed you this step so that you understand the logic behind. Okay? This is a squared 2ab, that's that, b squared. That's a plus b whole squared. Remember, what did you add? Half the coefficient of x and then squared it. So, consider only half the coefficient of x and square it. Equal to, here, can you say b squared over 4a squared minus c over a. Of course, in the exam or in an example, there will be numbers, so I just straight away simplify the number. But there's a reason why I'm doing this. So I can remove 4a squared as LCM. I get b squared minus 4ac. Now, does that look familiar? So x plus b over 2a equal to plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over square root of 4a squared is 2a. So x equal to minus b over 2a plus minus root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, which is a formula you are familiar with. So, indirectly, the formula you got in the formula book or what you remember is basically completing squares. But, having said that, I wouldn't advise you to use the method of completing squares unless you are very good at it, or unless you're very good at it, or unless you don't have any other choice. Meaning, if the question says use the method of completing squares, only then you complete squares. Otherwise, I will show you later, just quote the formula and use it, or factorize it, as the case may be. So don't do this unless you have to. Later on in curve sketching, I have shown you another method of completing squares, which is easier than this. So perhaps once you learn that, you can go backwards and use that in this case. Let me take an example to show you how to apply this. For example, let's say I have 2x squared. Use the method of completing squares. I'm sorry about the phone. Normally I put it on silent, but I forgot to, and Murphy's laws. A thing that has to happen will happen. Anyway, now I put it on silent, so don't worry. My apologies if you were disturbed. Use the method of completing squares to solve 3x squared minus 18x minus 5 equal to 0. So the first step is divide by 3. So I get x squared minus 6x minus 5 over 3 equals 0. Take 5 over 3 to the other side. So x squared minus 6x equals 5 over 3. Look, you don't have to write this. I'm showing you. Coefficient of x is minus 6. Half of it will be minus 3. So add minus 3 squared to both sides. I want you to don't add 9. Write it as minus 3 squared, because that is what will help you to write the square. So I will put it as plus minus 3 squared plus minus 3 squared. You don't have to show this in the exam. The moment you write this, the examiner knows what you're doing. So this becomes x minus 3 whole squared, because remember minus squared is plus, equal to 5 over 3 plus 9, which is 32 over 3. So therefore, x minus 3 whole squared equal to 32 over 3. So x minus 3 equal to plus minus root 32 by root 3, which is plus minus 16 times 2 is 32, right? So 4 root 2 by root 3, multiply by root 3, divide by root 3, you get plus minus 4 root 6 over 3. So x equal to 3 plus minus 4 root 6 over 3. Well, you have done this method. You can sneak in the formula to check whether you're right or wrong. Look, just out of interest, that's the answer. So on a rough page, you check whether what you have done is correct. The equation was x squared minus, 3x squared minus 18x minus 5. 3x squared minus 18x minus 5 equal to 0. I'm going to show using formula. Method 2. Using formula. Again, whenever you use a formula, many a time I've seen when I'm marking my own tests and exams, students somehow are very confident in using the formula, but they have a blind side for a minus sign. In many cases, I have seen either that minus sign is forgotten, or that minus sign is forgotten, or for b squared minus 4ac, they use the 3. But when you want to divide by 2a, they forget the 3. So these are common errors. You need to be careful. Safer would be list A and B and C. Write the formula x equal to minus b plus minus root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. This way you won't forget. So it is 18. You don't have to write minus 18 plus minus root of 18 squared minus 4 times 3 times minus 5 over 2 times 3. So it is 18 plus minus square root of 18 squared is 324 plus 5 3s are 15, 4s are 60 divided by 6. Let me do this somewhere on the side. Of course, you will use a calculator. Remember, mine is built in. So my built-in calculator says square root of 384. 384 goes by 4. So 4 times 4 9s are 36. 96. So 4 times 16 times 6, which is 64 times 6. If I take the square root, it is 8 root 6. Yeah. So therefore, it is 18 over 6 plus minus 8 root 6 over 6. That is 3 plus minus 4 root 6 over 3, which was the answer you got before. So be careful whenever you use a formula, unless, number one, unless you're asked to use method of completing squares, you don't use it. And when you are using a formula, especially the quadratic equation formula, students generally in a hurry go wrong. Not that you don't know it, but one small minus sign, if you don't write the formula, for example, if let's say you forgot the 3 there, or you forgot the minus sign there, you just wrote this, you didn't write any of these, then you will get a 0. Because at GCSE, we might condone it. At A level, the examiners will not condone it. We are looking for, do you know how to apply a formula? Number one, do you know the formula? Number two, do you know how to apply the formula? When you write this, you're telling me you don't know how to apply the formula. So I'm sorry, if you're doing A-level maths, you need to be worth your salt, so I won't give you the mark. Whereas, if you write this and you forget, also, yeah, the guy knows the formula, he forgot to substitute correctly, I think I'll give him benefit of doubt. So I might give you 2 marks. But if you don't show me the formula, just write it. I assume you do not know how to find ABC. It's not enough. You might say, sir, but I've shown C as minus 5. Sorry. If you wrote C as minus, you know the rule again. If you copy your own work wrong, it's your mistake, not mine. So don't expect me to give you the mark. If you copy the question wrong, suppose this was the exam and you copied it as 3x squared minus 18x plus 5. You copied it in the exam wrong. Then I'll give you misread and then give you all the method marks, provided, of course, you have shown the method correctly. But you wrote C as minus 5 and then you use C as plus 5. I am sorry, you won't get any credit. So these are small errors. These are the principles we use when we mark. So be careful. And of course, I don't want to go over factorization because all of you are very clever with factorization, but I want to show you one small error you people commit in factorization. I think a method of completing squares you're done. I've shown you how to use the formula, but more importantly, factorization. So method 3 is factorization. This everyone knows, of course. X squared minus 6x plus 5 equal to 0. Straight away, students will write x equal to 5, x equal to 1. If you write that at GCSE, full marks, 4 out of 4 or 2 out of 2 or 3 out of 3. But at A level, we have to show this step. Please, whenever you factorize, show your factors. Don't blindly write the answer because this comes directly from the calculator. 6x squared minus, let's say 18x minus 36. Squared minus 3x, 36 times 6, 216. Minus 216 equal to 0. I can divide through by 6. So it is x squared minus 3x minus 36 equal to 0. Something like that. Would that work? No. My 12 3s are 36. So I need to get minus 9x. So 54x. So I get minus 9x. So you would get x minus 12 times x plus 2, x plus 3 equal to 0. But students, one student, let me put in red. So one of you will just write, it is x squared minus 9x minus 36 equal to 0, x minus 12, x plus 3. Somebody wrote x equal to 12, x equal to minus 3. This was, let's say, 3 marks. Another student, Miss Simona told us, or our teacher told us, that we have to show factorize. So, factorization. So, I'll say x minus 12 times x plus 3 equal to 0, and therefore x equal to 12, x equal to minus 3. Sorry, you just get 1 mark for the answer. Because I wanted you to factorize 6x squared minus 54x minus 216. But you factorize x squared minus 9x minus 36. You're not factorizing the question I gave you. So, if you want to get full marks, we expect you don't have to say divide by 6. You say x squared minus 9x minus 12 equal to 0. Then write this and you get full marks. But from here, if you straight away write this, you are not answering the quadratic equation correctly. So, you're going to lose a mark. These are, of course, all this is GCSE work. So, I hope you know it. And in the next lesson, I will take up some physical situations, or what they call verbal questions in quadratics. Okay, have a nice day. Bye-bye. Hello. I want to take this opportunity to propose a vote of thanks. I would like to thank Vivid Innovations Private Limited and Commerce Forum for so generously giving up their studio and the facilities and the services of their technicians to record all these videos for free. I think that needs to be acknowledged and appreciated. Thank you very much. And my special thanks to Mr. Nitin Mahadevappa, Mr. Nishant Guruswamy, and Mr. Sadan Kumar DN for all their help and assistance in getting these videos ready, uploaded and launched. Thank you very much.